Hi everybody, my name's Paul Murphy and I've got a passion for hats. Today I got this parcel through from a customer that I bid for on one of the internet sites. It's come through from the Royal Mail, and I mean, just look at the state of this parcel. It's obviously had something stacked on top of it to dent the parcel. So I've opened it up, and inside, I mean, the person that sent it obviously sent it with good intention, because they sent it with some nice packing tape and not packing tissue paper and well, but look how the hat's turned up. So this is this hat's seen a bit of wear. Well, it's probably got quite a bit of dust and dirt on it, looking at this, and needs a very good going over. It's in the hat room. It's a size 60, and it's a fur felt hat. So I believe, in looking at the hat itself, inside you can see that it's got this adjuster. Now, it's unusual to see that, and I only know one company that does it. It's Bates&Co, which are in London. So I bought this hat on the strength of just looking at that, and the fact that the liner had a different colour in the, I don't know if you can see that there, just in the liner. I've got a Bates hat that's very similar to this. So I then need to check inside to see if it's got an actual label. And it has, and it actually is a, oh my goodness, it's an Antelope fur felt hat, size 60, which is my size. That's great. And as luck would have it, I've got this in a brown hat. So this makes the pair. It's unusually, it's a hat that has the double, I can see this, the double bow on it, but also a wind cord. Now, for those that don't know much about the wind cord was something in the old days where you'd untie it on your hat here, and you'd put it through the lapel on your jacket or your coat, so that if the wind blew your hat off, the cord would stop it from blowing away and hitting the ground and obviously getting messy. So it's more of a style thing these days. I'm not actually certain that these wind cords would actually hold up to much if they were actually used. So in fact, on mine, I actually took it off because I didn't see me wearing it and needing the wind cord. So I'm going to take it through to the hat room, give it a good going over, and a good steaming and good reshaping, and we'll see what it turns out like shortly. Let's go on through. Welcome into the hat room. I'm sorry it's a little bit glary tonight. It's dark outside, and I've only got the one light in here. Anyway, I'm in here with the Bates&Co hat that I showed you and I was unpacking earlier on, and we're going to start off as usual by putting it over a block and using the tape to get all of this dust off. As you can see, all that dust and dirt that's on there. We'll give it a good taping, and then we'll give it a good brush. So let's get started. So, as previously, a nice helping of tape always goes down well, and we're just taking off as much of this as we can. All that is, but just good old padding. Just go for it. You know, there'll be a lot that will come off here. Already I can see quite a difference. Let's go around the outside of the brim here. Now that looks like it's fully charged up with fur felt already, so let's get some more. Getting near the end of that roll, so I'll have to get some more soon. Okay, so oops. There we go. So I can see that lots and lots of dust is coming off of this hat. So it's it's probably been stored on the top of a wardrobe somewhere, you know, probably for a good few years, because I inquired at Bates&Co not so long ago actually about the Antelope fur hat, because it's quite an unusual one, and it's one that's discontinued by them now, and I don't know whether that's because of the fact that it was antelope fur or what it was, but it was quite an expensive hat in its time. So you know, it's well worth putting the time and effort to bringing this hat back to being in a really nice condition. So already I can see that a lot of the muck is coming out. I think by the time we've given it a good steam, it'll be good. So now you go underneath and do the underside of the brim, and go all around that. There we go. There's a bit of staining on here, which no doubt will take a little bit of steam to shift. I've got the steamer going, so it won't take me long to get this hat sorted, I'm sure, in the main anyway. So at home, a good packing tape or something is absolutely fine for this. No particular strength of sticky, and they all seem to work quite well. Now this hat has got quite a bit of other stuff on it, which I'm not quite sure what it is. So I'm going to give it a good brush now, and we'll see whether that will get some of that dirt out. So to brush it, put it on the block so you've got something to push against, and then, as I've said before, I've got several brushes, but this is the soft one, and then I've got this with two sides to it. This one's the stiffer and this one's the middle one of the three. So start off with your stiff one, and you probably start to see lots of dust coming out of this at the moment, although you might not be able to see it on camera, of course. But so you're slowly turning the hat around whilst I'm brushing the fur felts, and a lot of the muck, and you know, some of it is body fluid, you know, in your hands and your finger when you've got grease on your hands, it gets onto the hat. So that's a lot of it, what you see coming off of here now, but it's sort of shifting, so that's always a good sign. Something on that, there we are, that's come off. So there we go. Careful around the stitching, we don't want to break the stitching, so we're just going to be a little bit careful around the gros grain. Using my nail just to sort of loosen the more stubborn bits there, but they're coming out, so that's really good news. There we are. Look at that. Yes. There we go. Right. This will be a nice hat when it's done. I can feel the fur felt. It's been pounced nicely. Now, pouncing is when you actually use sandpaper on the felt to actually smooth it down, and it's a process that you go through when you're making a hat. And I use 800 grade sandpaper, and then these nice pads. Now these I got from Amazon actually, but they're very, very good if you've got a stubborn stain on the hat, or you want to be able to put some life back in the fur felt. If the brush doesn't do it, just give it a bit of a pouncing, but be very careful. It is a fur after all. So that's coming up really quite nicely. So you can see, but a lot different to when it first came in. So let's try underneath now. Now underneath, you go anti-clockwise on the top, and underneath you go clockwise, because that's the way the lay of the fur felt will be. And I'm just doing a couple of inches at a time. You can probably just see I'm just going around here. There we go. Jolly good. And right, there we go. So there are a few marks in there, so what I'm going to do is put some steam on it in a few moments. But before I do that, the leather hat band in there needs a bit of a clean. So what I do is just get hold of a cloth and relatively clean one. And I've got some cleaning fluid that I clean the leather seats in the car with, and I just spray it onto the cloth. Spray it on the cloth rather than on the hat, because otherwise you'll get it all on the hat lining that of course you don't want to put it onto. So just around the leather. Doesn't matter too much if you get it over the lining or the felt, but it's nice if you can keep it off a little bit. Now what I'm seeing here is that I'm disturbing the lining a little bit, which is probably because it's been glued in, and most older hats that I get have usually got a sewn in lining, and this one's got a glued in lining, so I might have to glue that in at a later time. But you can probably see that this one doesn't have a label in it. It would have had a Bates&Co label there. So let's put some steam on this and get some more of this dirt out of the hat. So the steam iron's all ready. There we go, nice blast. Yep. So I'm just moving the hat around just to give it a nice firm blast. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it down and get it back to its original shape. In fact, that hat block's a bit small. See if I've got my bigger one. So I'll see if this one will be bigger for it. Now, I can't remember whether this will actually fit on there or not. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. Right, let's see if that will go. Yeah, that's better. That's a 59 block that I've just put on there. So now I can put it down a lot better. So I'm going to just put it down very slowly with my hands rather than using a puller downer, which is one of these things. It looks like a boomerang, doesn't it, really? But you put it on the side here and you pull it down. When you're actually making a hat, you're pulling the hat fur down over the top of the hat block. But in this instance, because it fits nicely onto the block, I don't need to use that. So I can go back there. Okay, so this is all starting to come up quite nicely. What you find is that the water from the steam gets into the felt and opens up the pores, because felt is a natural fur felt. So this will be a rabbit fur, sorry, an antelope fur, and it will be knitting together, if you like. So it will be, look at that, it's starting to come up really nicely now. So probably quite difficult to see on camera, but let me see if I can show it to you. But that's an awful lot better than when it first came in. So let's carry on with the steaming. Always got to be so careful, because steam is very hot by nature of the fact that it is steam. So be very, very careful if you do use a steam iron or anything when you're doing that. Now let's have a look at some measurements, because the brim of this seems quite big. I mean, I bet it's over 3 inches. So it's exactly 3 inches actually. And the crown, let's see if I can put the crown back in before I start to actually work on it. So it would have, so I'm going to need to work on this a bit. Let me show you. This is my Bates&Co brown hat. So this is the brown version of that hat, but this one, the black one, has got a slightly bigger brim. So I think my brown one has been cut down for the person that wanted it. So this is a 2.5 inch, when this one here is a 3 inch. But can you see how they've done the crown on that? So I'm going to look to see if I can put the crown in like a teardrop like that, and the front like that. So so that's something that I really like as a style of hat, which I hope but this black one will start to mirror. So let's put a bit more steam, because the steam will reactivate the stiffness in the hat. There we are, and I'm going to see if I can, yeah, that's more like it. Yes, that's more like it. Okay, so that's far more like the design of the hat that it would have had. And that's just gone back in there nicely. If anything, it's a bit low at the front, but that's probably been the style that the owner actually liked, and maybe they had it remodeled. I mean, Bates and Co would have modelled this to whatever the customer wanted. So now I'll in here, when you're brushing and when you're working on the felt, this dust tends to come off the hats quite a bit, and it does create a sort of dusty haze that makes it difficult for me to breathe sometimes. So there we are. That's come out quite nicely. Can you see that? Yeah. So the grosgrain, let's do some measurements here. The grosgrain is a 45mm grosgrain, which is very deep actually, and the front of the crown is a 10.5 centimeters. So that's pretty good. I don't know whether this will fit me or not, but let's have a look. I haven't tried it on yet, so let's see. Oh my goodness, yeah, that fits me. It's supposed to be a 60, but it feels quite big actually. Although I think my other one was a 59, so yeah, this one's actually a 59. So I'm sort of between a 59 and a 60, but that's a really nice hat. A very big brim by today's standards, and about average, I suppose, as the crown height. But very pleased with my purchase with this, and I'll probably keep this for a little while in the collection. It's a very nice black, and it's a Bates and Co Antelope fur hat with all the right sort of attributes of being a hat for the opera. If you've got a passion for hats, keep watching the channel. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.